Brad, over to you guys.
Djokovic clearly not superstitious. He's gone back to the white shirt, Patrick. You pointed out that was the turning point when he ripped off the white one and went to the black shirt.
Yeah, I guess he doesn't care about that stuff. I think Brad's right. I think he's got clearly has the momentum, and kind of interesting that both guys threw in a double at an absolutely crucial moment. And Nadal hits just his second of the match to lose that set.
Is it extra deflating, if at all, to Nadal that he clawed back, was on the verge of getting to 5-all, had a game point?
To most mere mortals, yes, but to him, usually not. What's more deflating to him at this point is that Djokovic has found his game. And he's starting to free swing a little bit more, and he's missing less. And the tempo of the points is going much more in the direction of Djokovic now.
Researcher Mickey St. Patrick passing along this nugget as he has so many throughout the tournament. Last 19 men's finals. The man who's won the second set has won 18 of them.
Okay.
Nadal was the exception, losing the set to Federer in 09 and then coming back and winning it in 5.
We also understand at the last set, at the change of ends, that the chair umpire gave both Djokovic and Nadal a soft warning, just to make sure the boys keep an eye on the time for a time violation between points.
Okay. That's a step in the enforcement process. You see the average time, and again, 20 seconds is what it states in the rule, which you guys say is more of a guideline than a rule. But that means, you know, if you're playing quicker, that there's a lot of ones that are much longer than 40. Yeah.
When I was in the other box the other night, Chris, when you and Darren were calling the Murray Djokovic match, we were actually using the stopwatch often, and it was oftentimes into the mid 40s, close to 50 at times seconds that the players were taking.
Talking before the match, that rule at the majors, which allows less time than the ATP tournaments, here used to be allowed 30, they cut it back to 25. Here it's, you know, again by rule 20, been in place since 90. But hasn't the game changed a lot, become more punishing, more physical?
Oh, absolutely.
So many more rallies like the ones these guys are playing tonight become a part of the equation. So players would say lenience is called for. You know, changing style of play calls for adjusting the rule or not enforcing the rule as it used to be enforced.
Well, I think that's sensible. I've never heard that used as a rationale for not being enforced. And, you know, if that's an argument that's and I think it is that's a valid point, then maybe it's okay. 30 seconds in between points.
Oh, floating just on the line. So take it back to 30, but then enforce it as a hard rule. Not really an easy volley, was he? Moving away from the net, flicking it back.
interesting story also about how Nadal prepares for Grand Slams. We were in Rome earlier this year and still a few weeks out with Monte Carlo, Madrid, Rome, then a week off and the French Open. And we were just checking his schedule to see what days he had available for practice and what days he was taking off. And he looked at us with this funny look on his face saying, days off? No days off for me. No days off until the clay is finished. Not one single day off from Monte Carlo to the end of the French Open.
That's the swing that, of course, he built his career on the clay before expanding to other surfaces. Nasty.
The reason why I say it, though, is because he just lost in the final of Madrid to Novak Djokovic, and the very next day he arrives in the afternoon to Rome. He goes to the hotel courts, and he was practicing for a good 2.5 hours on the court. We're looking at him going, what are you doing? And it was amazing. The guy just needs to feel his legs. It's a fair chance from the moment he stepped on the hard courts preparing for the Australian Open. He hasn't had a day off leading up to now.
He'll go back to the practice courts next month. Spend February getting some of the practice he didn't get at the end of the year, he said, with the shoulder. That's what Brad was talking about. Another deep return. Nadal backpedaling quickly, trying to hit a forehand. And under pressure again in the service game. You can't breathe in any of these service games.
Yeah, even when he gets a lead. And that was for him, that was a pretty big serve. 119. He can't really go that much higher than that. The good thing about Nadal, though, in this, he's not panicking. I mean, he's still going. He's obviously come out with some adjustments to the game plan, which is to serve more to the body. And he's still winning some cheap points doing that, and he's still forcing himself to be more aggressive when he can. That's the problem for him now, is that 1-2 punch from Djokovic is starting to pay dividends. The heavy sort of roller to the backhand. And then Nadal can't really do a lot with this shot right here. And Djokovic is now stepping up and ripping the next one up the line.
I just feel like in his matches, it's such a percentage game. And if Djokovic doesn't miss, if he dials in, the percentage just keeps sliding away from you. And eventually, you do get broken. Nadal seems like he needs a point or two like that every service game just to survive. He's already gotten more cheap points, if you can call it that, in this final than he did in New York. That's for sure. In barely 2 sets.
I'm sure also, if you notice how hard Nadal has to work on every single ground stroke compared to Novak. Novak's in that nice little zone now where he's got great timing on the ball. He's not having to really overswing, but Nadal is just swinging out of his shoes, coming out of his Nikes.
Sweat flying everywhere. Djokovic is settled in after 239. Looking very sharp. Nadal breaking the pattern, Patrick, in that point, as you guys have talked about, taking the backhand up the line with some force. getting out of the trap.
And he got some help with this one, and then he went after this one up the line. Tony said that's what we talked about. See?
Carlos Costa, the former player, who's his
Change
agent.
the pattern.
It's a fight, but he holds.
Well, you know, we've been tracking this as we go inside the point in the court positioning, and Nadal getting pushed around more and more in that second set as Djokovic starting to dictate play, going into the backhand corner, has him sort of pinned in there. He stays patient, and then he gets the opening and goes to the forehand corner. So you look at the hit points, Nadal on the first serve return, then he actually backs up even a little bit more on the second serve, and it's been rare that he's looked to move up to the baseline on the return. I think that's